Let's go over prime and composite. We're going to need to know about prime and composite in order to do our prime factorization in our next section. So a prime number, the definition of a prime number, it has exactly, no more, no less, two different or unique factors, which means one and the number itself. Only two factors, and the factors have to be different. A composite number is basically every other number. It's going to have more than two factors. And remember, when we say factors, we are talking about whole numbers. Usually we're dealing with our positives. So no fractions, no decimals. How do you find if a number is a prime number? You are going to list out the factor pairs, just like we've done previously. If there's only one pair, and the number isn't 1, then the number is prime. If you list out the factor pairs and you didn't miss any, and it has more than one pair, then the number is composite. Let's do a couple of examples. Example 1, is 24 prime? Well, if we list out the factors for 24, it's 1 and 24. Oh, let's see, that has 4 factor pairs. We are looking for 2 factor pairs. 24 has way more than 2 factors. 24 is composite. It is not prime. Is 49 prime? Ooh, well, 49 is not even. Basically, any even number beside 2 is going to be a composite number because 2 will go into it. 49 doesn't go into it. Well, let's list out the fact, and we can use our rules for divisibility here. I know 1 and 49 go. I know 2 doesn't go. 3 doesn't go in because 9 plus 4 is 13, and 13 isn't divisible by 3. 4 doesn't go in because it's not even. 5 doesn't go. 6. Oh, 7 does though. It actually only has 3 different unique factors because it's a perfect square because one of these is double. But I'm only looking for 2. It has an extra one. 49 is not prime. So is 49 prime? No. Is 13 prime? Well, let's see. Factor pairs of 13. 1 and 13. 2 doesn't go in. 3 doesn't go in. 4, 5. Nothing else goes in other than 1 and 13. It doesn't have any other factors. So is 13 prime? Yepers. It is prime. Is 2 prime? Oh, that's kind of an odd one because people go, oh, well, 2 is even and even numbers aren't prime because 2 goes into it. True. Well, let's see. Factors of 2, 1 and 2 and 2 and 1, but I already listed those. Well, it only has 2 different factors, 1 and itself. So is 2 prime? Yes, 2 is prime. 2 is the only even prime number. All other even numbers beside 2 are not prime because 2 will go into that number. So 2 is a little special. Let's think of another one. Is 1 prime? 1 is also special. Let's list out the factors of 1. 1 times 1. Well, that's the only factor. And the definition was it has to have exactly 2 different, unique factors. 1 and itself, meaning this one has to be different than 1. This one does not have 2 factors. It only has 1 factor. So is it prime? No. Is it composite? No. It's neither. So 1 is unique. It is neither prime nor is it composite. It's in its own special little world. 1 is special. We pat it on the head and say, good for you. Let's look at another unique one, 0. What factors are going to, remember, 0 is any number that is multiplied by another number to get 0. This one's interesting because, well, 1 times what gives me 0? 0. 2 times 0, 3 times 0, 4 times 0. Well, technically 0 times anything is that. But I'm only looking for 2 unique ones, and technically every number is a factor of 0 in its own special little weird way. So is 0 prime? No, it isn't. It's really not composite either. It's also just its own special little number. It's its own special little land. So it's good to know. The following numbers, we call them little odd ducks. They're just odd. 2 is the only even prime number. Every other even number is composite. 1 is not prime or composite, it's special. And 0, technically it is composite because it has multiple, but we don't really think of it as composite. We just kind of think of it in its own special little world. Now, it is very good to be familiar with the prime numbers up to 100. They're very useful when doing math calculations, when I'm looking for factors and I come across like, oh man, 81. I can go, oh, I know 81 isn't prime. I know that 9 goes into it. Or 41. Oh, I know that 41 is prime. So there's no factors that are going to go into 41. It's just useful to be familiar with them, and the more work you do with them, the easier it becomes. So it's good to be familiar with the prime factors up to 100 because they make your math calculations easier.